You watch out or you'll have a body with no ass.
Welcome to the Mind Your Movies podcast. I'm Ryan.
I'm Shane.
I had no idea that was going to be the quote, but I love it.
That is from the dub of Drunken Master, one of our two films we're covering today. We'll be talking about Drunken Master and Police Story 3 Supercop for Drunken Master Story 3 Supercop.
Yeah, it rolls right off the tongue, honestly. Um, but before we get into it, we do have a few things. We always like to just jump into some of the things we've seen recently, and
Yeah.
just give you guys our 2 cents. Is it worth it to watch this or whatever? Shane, do you want to start with something?
Oh man, you know what I'll start with? It's been a little while. We missed a week, so we got a little bit of extra time in here. So because everything got pushed back. New Year's Day, I watched Man on Fire, Tony Scott movie starring Denzel. Incredible movie. Not a big Tony Scott guy. I like The Hunger. A lot of his movies I'm a little mixed on. The opening credits of Man on Fire are a little bit you wouldn't steal a DVD. And it's like crazy early 2000s like editing. But a great movie. If you if you like, it's like an elevated version of like a dad action like revenge movie, like Taken or something like that, but with a little bit more depth to it, I'd say, and more emotionally involving, a little more uh interesting themes maybe. And it has Denzel, so like you have like one of the greatest actors of his generation. And Liam Neeson's cool, but let's be real.
Yeah,
Let's be real. So yeah, I finally watched Man on Fire and it's awesome. And don't be scared by the runtime. It's like maybe 2.5 hours long and it's worth it, I think.
nice. I think those that genre I think can do a lot with a lot of runtime. Honestly, I'm okay. I like a short movie, right? We all know this, but I can hang in for like you know the Bourne movies or the Taken movie. I
So this
think it's probably short, but
I imagine Taken can't be over 2 hours. I feel
yeah.
like Taken is very like quick. But this one like there's almost the maybe an hour of like build up and character building and stuff, and then once shit hits the fan it just
Mm,
like goes, and we're pretty much just on a straight line with a lot of action, but there is a lot of character development in that first hour, which makes you care a lot more about the last hour and a half because you care about the characters, you know about their relationships, their inner world, all that kind of stuff. So I loved it. Great movie, great way to start off 2026.
nice. That's awesome. I'll start off. I'm actually gonna mention two real quick, just because one of them's really bad, and my recommendation is not to watch the new I Know You Did Last Summer. That was garbage.
I haven't even seen it. I could have told you that.
Yeah, I last year I kind of wanted to watch it in theaters, but I didn't. And oh man, it is probably the worst of these nostalgia, requel stuff that they're doing with the all this stuff, and
So
uh, it's a low bar to be the worst of those. So
and this one is just called I Know What You Did Last Summer, but like 2025 or whatever.
yeah,
I hate that.
yeah,
Awful.
terrible. Yep.
Awful.
I didn't really like when Scream did that, and I can give Scream a pass just because I love Scream so much. But I know
And
you
they
did last
they
summer.
like made it like a joke, but you don't call it Scream, you call it Scream 5.
Yeah,
So
right.
it's stupid
Yep.
to actually have that be the actual title.
Yeah. So don't recommend that one. But I did also watch the new monkey slasher, Primate, and I would recommend this. It's got a little bit of Cujo vibes. It's got a little bit of slasher vibes, creature feature. It's got a little bit for everyone, and a lot of gore, more gore than I was expecting, which maybe even a little over the top on that piece for some scenes, but overall it was a good classic slasher esque experience. Not the best movie you're going to watch this year, but if you're into that type of movie, you might enjoy it. So I would say I was surprised. I didn't really go in with good expectations, and I did enjoy it.
A nice January horror release that actually is decent, apparently. I haven't seen it, so I can't
Yeah.
say. But it's nice when those come out and they're actually decent and watchable, and you're like, oh yeah. Well, speaking of like a decent, watchable January release, I watched The Rip on Netflix. New Matt Damon and Ben Affleck movie. They play cops. There's I guess it's inspired by real stuff that went on in like Miami in the 80s and 90s where, you know, there were corrupt police and they would find big stashes of cash in that, cartels or gangs had stashed away, and the police are supposed to count it and, hand it in, and there's a whole process. But when you find a bunch of cash, people have different motives. There's corruption, temptation takes over. And so basically that's the premise. We got a group of cops and they find a shit ton of money, and you don't know who to trust. You don't know who's doing the right thing, who's like, and it's kind of a little bit of a whodunit mystery. And then there's some cool action scenes, and it's nothing groundbreaking, but for a nice January Netflix release, if you're looking for sort of a throwback, like a movie you could watch with your dad on like a Saturday afternoon, and you'd be like, "Oh, that was cool," you know? "Oh, I didn't see that coming," you know? Like it's a nice enjoyable time. So I think it's worth checking out. But if you're, I don't know, if that doesn't sound appealing to you, you probably don't have to watch it. It's not going to change your world.
Yeah. Probably in similar vein to Primate. It's like if you
Yeah,
think you might like this genre, you might like this release.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's not The Exorcist.
Yeah. Well, I'll jump on with another Netflix release, which is Wake Up Dead Man. Dead Man.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I
Um,
saw this back when it came out.
yeah, I had wanted to see it, and then I kind of kept pushing it off, but I finally saw it, and I thought it was a pretty good addition to Knives Out. So if you like the first two Knives Out movies, you don't have to have watched them, but the
No,
first one's the best. You should definitely watch the first if you would be interested in this stuff, in my opinion. And then I thought this fell in line pretty well with the other two. I enjoyed it. I probably liked it better than the second,
I
and yeah, it was good.
I really like this one. I think this might be my favorite of the three movies. I don't know about I haven't seen the first one since it like came out, so it's been a while. And then the second, I think it's funny because I think I have them all rated like 3.5 stars, but I feel like one and three are like kind of a step above Glass Onion. I feel like I was a little bit of a generous 3.5 on Glass Onion, but I thought this one, I don't know. I found it more interesting in like themes and characters, and the mystery was fine. But yeah, I really liked it. Very well shot. Josh O'Connor's great. Also, Josh Brolin plays the other like crazy priest, so he's also very good at being crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a crazy movie for sure. And there's a lot of cool twists and turns while the mystery is unraveling. And
Yeah,
yeah, I would say I think I agree with you that I think I like the themes of this one better, but I do like the mystery of the first one better. And so I guess it
I
kind of
get
depends on how
that.
you weigh that stuff for
Yeah, I think this one has like the most depth, but the first one I maybe is more just like purely entertaining, especially because it was a new thing also. This is
yeah.
kind of like the Knives Out formula a little bit, but it's still not predictable, I'd say.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, definitely enjoyable, definitely worth checking out if you have Netflix. Might as well.
Yeah.
Oh, so now it's on to me. You know what? Crazy enough, I have one more Netflix movie.
Holy.
It
Wow.
I well it's on Netflix in the US. It's a Japanese movie called 100 Meters. Anime follows these two kids. You start with them in elementary school, and then we see them in high school, and then eventually as adults. And it's all about running the 100 meters. And
Ah.
this is like the most important thing. In like it's very if you like anime, you'll like it. If you don't like anime, this probably will not change your mind. There is some very nice animation. There's one sequence in the middle where there's a race in the rain, which is like really, really well done, really cool animation. But there's also like a lot of kind of self-serious, well, I don't know. It's kind of a serious movie, but like there's a lot of like characters explaining their motivations and like this is why this is important to me, and it's like very epic, and I kind of appreciate that about anime, that it's like, yeah, this 100-meter dash is the most important thing in the universe, the most epic, like they treat it with the highest stakes you could ever imagine, which I think is kind of just a common thing in anime. But I found it really enjoyable. And it's on, like I said, it's on Netflix. Not that we're advertising for Netflix, but I feel like at this point we're having consistent segues.
Yeah,
So there was 100 meters, good movie, worth worth checking out. Directed by Kenji Iwasawa. So yeah.
nice. Um, well, this is not Netflix anymore, but I will. I got another one, which is another new movie directed by Bradley Cooper. Is this thing on?
Oh.
The Will Arnett Bradley Cooper
Laura
movie.
Dern.
Yes, with Laura Dern, and it was pretty good. I think it's probably comparable, not necessarily in quality, but if anyone doesn't know, it's like a divorce movie. So you've got some a marriage story vibes going on, but it's not quite that good. But as a marriage story, I really like that one. But it was good, and they did a lot of cool stuff. There's some cool filmmaking stuff that they do, and it was interesting to see the like midlife crisis slash divorce, finding of oneself being told through the lens of stand-up comedy. He's doing all that through stand-up, and so that was pretty cool. So I enjoyed
Nice.
it quite a bit.
I have not seen this one. I have not even dipped my toe in the Bradley Cooper director like pond. I haven't gone in there. I haven't seen any of the movies he's directed, and I don't know. I just
Yeah,
there's not really a good reason. It's just that you can only watch so many movies, I guess.
yeah. It's this and A Star Is Born, and
Yeah,
he did one more, right? But I don't remember which
My
it was.
Maestro.
Right. Maestro.
That was
Yeah,
like two years ago, I think.
yeah.
But yeah, I think that was also a Netflix original. I think
Oh wow.
Maestro, was it Netflix? I don't even remember.
I don't know.
Anyway,
Now
last thing,
grasping at straws to get these
yeah, for
Netflix rights.
segues, yeah. Last thing I wanted to mention is actually a short film. It's called Nest. It's on the, well, actually, I don't know if it's on the Criterion. It was on the Criterion channel. I think it still is. It's on Canopy. That's where I watched it. Directed by Hjolnir Pálmason. I don't know if I'm saying that right. He's Icelandic, so the Icelandic names can be a little bit tough. But it's a 22 minutes long, and it's essentially one shot, like one frame, but just it's not one shot. There's editing, but it's the exact same frame, and you see a story of I mean, it's basically this family, and they build a treehouse, and some things happen, but they start building the treehouse, and it's really really cool. Just the way it was executed. Never, I mean, I'm sure it's not the only movie that's ever been done like this. I'm sure there's some obscure experimental film that's done something like this before, but I haven't seen it, so it was new to me. Very cool. Uh, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's called Nest. 22 minutes long, nice, good story, and very well edited. Like the way they cut between shots, like it keeps your interest. You'd think like one shot, basically one shot for 22 minutes might get boring, but I was never bored. So
Nice. I'll have to add that
worth
to
checking
my
out.
my Canopy list.
Yeah.
Got I love Canopy. Love
Yeah,
Canopy.
it's pretty awesome. I feel like I missed out by not having it for so many years,
Yeah,
by being
same.
lazy. You just have to go down to your library, and it's like the easiest thing. You just get a library card.
Yeah, this is really what we should be advertising more of is
Yeah.
Canopy.
Yeah, fuck
Screw
Netflix.
Netflix. If you guys aren't signed up for Canopy yet, go to your public library, get a public library card if you don't have one yet. You can sign into Canopy if your
Yeah.
public library has this,
Yeah.
and you get just free streaming for so much a month, but you get to watch tons of stuff, and there is a lot of stuff that you can watch for zero tickets. They call it tickets, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jump onto
And
Canopy, guys. Come on.
yeah, and Hoopla too. Some libraries do both or one or the other, but
Yeah.
pretty cool. All right. I'm all set. I'm ready to get into the Jackie Chan movies if you are.
Let's do it.
All right, so before we get into it, spoiler warning. We're going to spoil Drunken Master, the original 1978 one, and Police Story 3, Supercop. So if you haven't seen them, I would say go see them. They're both good. Police Story 3, I would say just one of my favorite action movies. I absolutely love it. So get out there and see it. You don't necessarily need to see Police Story 1 and 2 to see Police Story 3. It's the same character, but you're not really missing like they stand on their own pretty well. So go out there and check them out if you haven't. Unless you just don't care about spoilers, then buckle your seatbelts because we're going to talk about Drunken Master.
Yeah. Although this is an interesting thing about these two movies is that speaking of spoilers and going out to watch these are kind of
Yeah,
annoying to watch movies in a way because neither, at least through like quick trying to find them, um, it's hard to find them in their original language with subtitles online right now,
yeah,
which is a bummer. So I think if we're starting with Drunken Master, we both watched the dub that's online.
yes. There's a dub on Tubi, and I think that's where I watched it. And then I have the Blu-ray of Police Story 3, so I was able to watch the original Cantonese version. It's got special features on there. I watched an interview with Jackie Chan afterwards. Pretty sick.
That's
Definitely go out
awesome.
and get the Blu-ray if you
Yeah.
can.
If you can do that. I was not able to do that. And so I watched, so Police Story 3 Super Cop was released originally in 1992, but then was put into America in 96 with a slightly shortened version, and it's all dubbed. Um, Interestingly, Jackie Chan does his voice in it, which is cool.
Oh,
I
that's
was very
cool.
surprised when I started hearing him, and I was like, wait a second, I know that voice.
That's cool. I was not Jackie Chan's voice in Drunken Master, I'll tell you that.
um, but so I did watch a slightly abbreviated, like the American
Yeah.
release of this, and which when we watched, Shane and I had actually watched this together years ago. And do you remember we watched the original version for that, right? We
Original Cantonese. I think we rented it
mm.
on, so I think we rented it from somewhere, like Amazon or something, maybe.
I will say one annoying thing trying to watch this. I so the letterboxed, it'll tell you the services that you can watch it on that you have, or whatever. I don't know. That might be a pro feature or something,
Yeah.
but you can click on the thing and it'll bring you to that website. It'll bring you to that page, which is awesome. Except doing that for Police Story 3 Super Cop brings you to the US version Super Cop on both the free streaming app and also on the Fandango at home option to buy or rent. And so I tried both those options. I looked it up a little bit to try to see if I could just find a rip of it, and
Yeah.
ended up just watching the American version. So, you know, I
I
yeah,
know of two differences in Police Story, the American version. I know during the scene when they're like in his undercover identity in the hometown. I think it's called Fatsan, the hometown. There's a shot of people like selling dogs at the market, and he's like the the bad guy is like, "Oh, you can get a lot of exotic meats here or something," and they show a person selling dogs like in cages, and then Jackie Chan is like, "That's so cruel" or something like that. And so I think they cut that out, and they cut out when he's with. I mean, this is kind of spoilers for Police Story 3, but when he goes to like the bad guys penthouse in Hong Kong, there's like white girls that are given like heroin or drugs or something, and they show it in the like original Hong Kong version, but they don't show it in the American version, I believe.
interesting.
So they sanitized it a little bit.
Yeah. But so just to keep that in mind, as you, if anyone out there has not seen these and wants to pause this and go watch them, um, we are going to be referencing, I guess, both the original and the American version of Super Cop, but the dub primarily Drunken Master. And
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever. Find what you can. Also, physical media for the win. If you have the money and it's within your budget and
Yeah.
reasonability, get the
I
Blu-ray.
think I think there is a Drunken Master Blu-ray with the original version on it. It's just I didn't do my research in time and I just didn't was not able to get that in time. But the dub It's kind of funny. I think also I felt like it was worth watching the dub because this is the way a lot of people have seen the movie. You
Yeah.
know, like this is a common experience, I feel like, with these early uh like martial arts movies. So I felt like it was fine. Also, it was funny, the opening credits, which are in English in the that version, Jackie Chan is spelled Jacky.
Yeah, I noticed that too. That was
That's
interesting.
weird. Why? I feel I've never seen Jackie spelled that way in my life.
Yeah. It is only, I mean, this is his like I mean, I don't know how many actual
Uh,
movies he had done before, but I know this is kind of his second big movie where he's
yeah.
a leading person. So
Yeah,
I wonder what he's credited as in the one before Snake in the
I don't know.
Eagle's Shadow or something.
I don't know.
I wonder if it's
I know
J
he
A
did.
C K Y or not.
I don't know. Well, I imagine they would be. Well, I guess in the dub it would be in English.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, he did a lot of like background work and like stunt work before he was like a star. But I feel like Drunken
yeah,
Master is the one that kind of like made him more of a star, and then he became. I don't know what sort of made him a huge star in the U.S. I guess Rush Hour. Did he have anything big before Rush Hour? I feel like that was like when it's like everyone knows Jackie Chan.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. That would
In the
make
US at
sense.
least.
Yeah.
Because I think the
Um,
first Rush Hour is like, is it like 98? Maybe? It's around then.
Something
But I
like
don't
that.
know. Something like that.
You're the one that knows all the dates, my guy.
Yeah, it's something. It might be like 2000. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Let me
but
look it up right now.
but yeah, this is definitely.
It
I
was
think.
nine. It was 98.
Look at that.
Why do
Don't
I
doubt
doubt
yourself. Don't
myself?
doubt yourself.
Directed by
Um,
the by Brett Ratner. Infamous good guy. Really just like a totally normal guy, Brett Ratner. Yep. Yeah. Totally normal and chill guy.
anyways.
Thankfully, this is a Jackie Chan episode, not the Brett Ratner episode. That'll never happen. Well,
Yeah.
if we do a Brett Ratner episode, like get me lobotomized or something. Why would I do that? Why would you be like, all right, well, we've done Roman Polanski, we've done Brian Singer, on to the next Brett Ratner.
Oh God. All right. Well, yeah, we're not doing that for sure. So
At least Woody Allen made good movies.
say what you will about the um but yeah, I think this is pretty much his like breakout role into the mainstream. It's the same year as that the movie they had done just prior that he also had a starring role in. I think that's called Snake in the Eagle's Shadow, I think. And I think those are kind of the two movies that really, because he has the starring role and they're just, I think, pretty, they kind of broke through the audience, right? I think they kind of solidified him in that area of the world. And like you said, obviously, it took a little bit longer for him to get kind of mainstream here in America, but
Yeah.
man,
But he
Jackie
was just,
Chan is awesome.
yeah, and he was just cranking out movies in like
Oh
the
yeah,
70s and the 80s. He was cranking them out.
yeah, and like you said,
And
like before this, he was a background and like he did a lot of stunts. He was in he's even in like Enter the Dragon,
yeah,
which
yeah.
is cool. I mean, he's like I you could probably pick him out, I guess, if you watched it. I don't think I knew that when I first
He
watched it, but
he's in the back. I think there's like one of the scenes that's like in a cave, like in the island. I think he's like one of the just like of the dozens of guys that are getting kicked and stuff.
kicked.
He's
Yeah,
one of them. Yeah, he's like random henchman.
yeah, he gets
Um,
kicked in like 2 seconds. And he's off the screen. Yeah,
yeah, I don't think he has a big role, but yeah, Drunken Master. This one I had never seen before.
me neither.
Uh, Pretty cool. It's from 1978. There's a sequel called The Drunken Master 2 or The Legend of Drunken Master. I think that's maybe the title in the US. Um, but we're talking about the original. Uh, Directed by Yuen Woo-ping, and starring Jackie Chan along with Yuen Woo-ping's dad, Simon Yoon Soo Ten. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I tried my best. He plays, Beggar So, the drunken master, the titular drunken master. Uh, and it's pretty awesome seeing like a really old guy just like doing all these moves. And even though it's a little bit obvious when there's a stunt double, Like I feel like they do a pretty good job, like with the wig and the and everything. Like it's pretty convincing.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I
mean,
think yeah, they did pretty
kind of.
good. I think. I mean, I think for the most part, I think it blends in pretty well. And
And it is pretty impressive what he can do. He
yeah.
was 66 or 65 years old when they filmed this. And he actually passed away in January of 1979. So this is like one of his last roles, I think.
Wow.
But yeah, he's like really good. Just like a great two-hander with the two of them just being scoundrels, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Yeah,
They're kind of
it's
scoundrels in this movie.
oh yeah, this movie pretty much opens for like maybe the first before the Drunken Master's even in the movie.
Yeah.
We get Jackie Chan just uh humiliating the teacher,
Yeah.
um and then trying to beat up who turns out to be his aunt outside.
Yeah.
And then he
Like
gets kicked out of the house, or he runs away from the house, and because he's getting punished for all this crap, and he just beats up a bunch of people at a restaurant while he's trying to steal from them.
yeah. Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
when he meets. Well, he's actually getting beat up, and that's when he meets Drunken Master. And so it's like he's just a total scoundrel's a good word for it.
Yeah. He's a little bit of a Marty Supreme character, but without the goal. He's kind of just he's a wild boy.
Yeah,
So yeah.
yeah. It
And he
was
kind of like sexually harasses his cousin. A little like weird. I'm like, all right, that this has not aged well. Also, the very end of the movie when he's like, I'm not
yeah.
some fucking lady. I'm not do some fucking girl martial arts. I'm not
Yeah.
gay, dude. What the? That's basically his vibe.
Yeah,
So
that was a
that
little
so
rough at the ending.
yeah,
Yeah.
and he's like imitating. He's like doing like girly noises and stuff. Yeah, definitely. Definitely didn't age the best. But the action and the acrobatics and everything is really impressive throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, the choreography is like so impressive, so clever, and like
Yeah,
very fluid, right? There's that there like I mean there's so many scenes. You could talk about all of them, but there's
yeah,
like one scene when um he's getting beat up by who ends up being the main villain at the end, but earlier, right, when
yeah,
there's a scene when they're fighting and there's a chair. And
yeah,
the way they use the chair for combat, and they sit in the chair and then they sit the other person in the chair and then they flip over the chair and they hit the person with the chair, and there's just so many times like that where they're
yeah.
just using the props, and it's so fluid and it seems so perfectly planned but also believably in the moment too, like
Yeah, Jackie Chan loved a prop.
oh
He
yeah.
loved to get things involved in the fight. He's like, "Oh, there's a table over there. We're gonna do something with the table. Oh, there's cucumbers. I'm gonna fight you with cucumbers real quick," which was pretty awesome when he did that.
Yeah.
And then like, there's one where he's like trying to take his shirt off, and he's like has his shirt like stuck on his arms, and he's constricted in that way. Like, there's always these like little. He likes to make like obstacles for himself like just to make the action more fun. And I feel like that really adds to the entertainment value of it all because you don't really know what's going to happen next. Like it keeps you on your toes and keeps you invested rather than just sort of so a lot of fight scenes are not that inventive and creative.
Right.
And I feel like he always brings that to his fight scenes.
Yeah. And I think that really pays off even when you get the fight scenes that are kind of like the ending fight scene for this movie. In some ways, I actually felt a little underwhelmed by,
Mm.
but when he was using the jug and like
Yeah.
and he pulls it over and just drinks a little bit and then he gets back into it and all this stuff. And there's moments when he's doing that where like again, he's just using the props, he's just using what's around, and it just feels so natural and fluid and also comedic and really well done. But then there's I will say in the ending fight scene, there were a good amount of moments where I was a little bit like, do something with like like grab a stick or like use the jug
Mm.
more or something. But that might have just been me getting a little antsy at the ending.
Yeah, I feel like the ending they kind of kept it wanted to keep it a little bit more pure. Like they're just in a field and it's
Yeah.
very much there's like mountains in the background. It's kind of a cool scenic setting, but it really is just like Jackie versus Thunderleg, which is a badass villain name, Thunderleg. And immediately they're like, yeah, this guy has like the strongest kicks you've ever seen. It's like, yeah, there you go. And he's the villain. He kind of reminded me of the Mad Dog from the Raid.
Yeah, I could see
The
that.
the mustache, the long hair. He's like the villain. He's kind of like, oh, you don't want to mess with this guy, you know. So shout out to Mad Dog from the Raid. I don't know the actor's name off the top of my head, but
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I like the choreography, and this is so classic for Jackie Chan movies where the choreography just feels so much like this, where you, uh, like, again, like it's just so clever in the way that he's incorporating everything around
yeah,
and and it's so like, again, it almost feels believably in the moment while still feeling like perfectly uh like they must have practiced it so many times. But
yeah.
he's just so good at this. It's like this is clearly like it makes so much sense that this started helped him start what became this tremendous career in showing off these martial arts in a really cool way.
Yeah, and it is a little bit he's kind of like also pioneering kind of like a martial arts comedy, which where he's kind of like making fun of like different styles of martial arts. Like at one point he's like doing like crane like hands and he fights just like with the crane hands and stuff like that. Um but he's kind of like I don't know, he has that attitude which I feel like was a little ahead of his time of maybe more like a 90s type attitude of like I'm too cool for this a little bit, but it kind of works for like that's his persona.
Yeah, and it totally sets that up like right at the beginning too, with the game of like he's essentially
Yeah.
playing like keep away with the guy's hat, with the
Yeah.
teacher's hat,
Yeah.
and and he's just keeping it. He just pulls it and he kicks the guy and it's on his foot, and then he kicks him with it and then he kicks it up and grabs it, and like so many things where it's just like just the rapid motion and movement, but also it is a joke, right? Like it very clearly setting the stage that this is a using martial arts in a very comedic way and in a way making fun of them, right? I mean, he's embarrassing and humiliating the teacher, right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a very rebellious attitude toward. I feel like I haven't seen a ton of martial arts movies from like this era, but I feel like a common thing is like your family or your teacher are like killed or defeated or something, and you have to like get revenge for some like your family or teacher getting killed. And there's a lot about like it's you ever the characters usually respect their teachers. And this one kind of upends that and he's like these teachers, I'm like these guys are I don't care about them at all. I don't respect them at all. So like it's a very rebellious attitude that I maybe that is part of the reason that uh he translated well to American audiences too. Like having that maybe people enjoyed that kind of rebellious uh like I don't care. I don't know. Yeah, just a rebellious attitude that but still fun.
Right. And I think that's also part of like just combining that with the whole like usage of props and all this.
Yeah.
Like being able to combine the props and the martial arts. I mean, obviously this gets done in more like kind of less comedic, right? More serious martial arts movies too, where they're using props and weapons and stuff. But the way that he's able to do it does just bring it up that next level of now we're like really looking at how comedic it can be when he's like, they have like, you know, wire to pull him under from a table, so it looks like he's like pushing himself back or something, or flipping a table up and hitting the guy in the chin, or whatever it is,
Yeah.
and it can be very funny and uh, feel very like just feel very badass in any moment, right? Like you're in the
Yeah.
middle of a crowded restaurant, do it, like
Yeah. And I feel like he almost like combines the acrobatics of like and the comedy of like a Buster Keaton, where he's like taking that and bringing it into martial arts where it like it is all fighting, but it's very like it's not super realistic. It's not like every time it's like you can watch UFC now and you can see like, oh, this is how two people would fight. They would be trying to like murder each other every single time, and it's like pretty ugly. But this is like obviously super heightened and stylized, but I just think the acrobatics of it all and the creativity of it all is so impressive. And I don't know, it kind of just goes with the genre. It's not intended to be like super realistic fighting necessarily. Like it's not. So, but that's part of the show, you know? And I feel like Jackie Chan is like the ultimate showman.
Exactly. Yeah, that's I mean, we're not talking about Police Story yet, but oh my
Hmm.
God. Speaking of the
Oh
ultimate
my
showman, I mean,
gosh. Yeah.
this is a movie in Drunken Master where the scale of things is quite a bit smaller than what he ends up
Yeah.
doing in things like the Police Story movies. But it's just so showy. Even like you brought up the cucumbers, right? Like he's fighting the guy with the sword, he uses the cucumbers, and then he ends up using the sword, but only the back of it. And he tells the guy, I'm not gonna kill you, I'm just gonna hit you with the dull side or something, right? And
Yeah, yeah.
and it's just even in his archetype as like being this showsy kind of know-it-all jackass character in this movie, because he's so skilled in martial arts and showing it off in this way, uh, he's able to kind of play off that charisma that makes you like him, even though he's a jerk.
Yeah. Yeah, and it kind of does up it almost reminds you of maybe like spaghetti westerns or like revisionist westerns as compared to like traditional westerns, where I feel like typically just in any movie, but usually the main character, especially in like an action movie, they're honorable. And like in this one, he really is very extremely selfish. And when the only time he really does like a good thing at the beginning of the movie is when there's like these guys that are stealing from like a poor guy at like a market, and he's like, "Oh, that was the only like jade necklace that I had, and you broke it. You got to pay me." And they're like, "Oh, like fuck you, buddy." And this is right after Jackie just got his ass kicked by his aunt, so he's feeling like kind of like embarrassed and pissed off. And at the end of the day, I think he just wanted to fight the guy just because he wanted to fight him. Like, I don't think he really cared about helping out this random guy. Like, he was just like, "Oh yeah, you seem like an asshole. I could kick your ass," and he just like wanted to do it. So he doesn't really have that like honorable like moral code or anything like that. Like, he really is just a selfish guy just flying by the seat of his pants, basically.
Yeah,
Not
definitely
unlike Marty Supreme.
true. Except Jackie Chan's got that charisma.
I don't. Yeah, I mean that's fair. Jackie Chan has more, but
Like
yeah,
even
I,
when he's
I
being a
guess
jerk and he's slapping the guy with a cucumber, you still got to be like, dude, that's hilarious. Like, um, yeah, I don't know.
I
There's a moment when he's fighting the ultimate, the who ends up being, the main bad guy at the end, and he like makes
underleg.
him, yeah, and he makes him like crawl between his legs, and that
Yeah,
felt a little bit like the ping pong paddle movement.
when
So
he gets well, I guess we can't spoil Marty, but there's yeah.
there's a moment of embarrassment for sure.
Yes,
Um,
yes. And then he
and
has to get his revenge at the end.
Yeah. So I can definitely see some analogies, if not because it's very recent in memory, right, with Marty Supreme.
Yeah. Yep. Interesting thing about the movie, I feel like the aunt and the cousin don't really come back into play. Like we kind of
No.
meet them and then they're just gone.
Yeah, I actually didn't even recognize that happens because you're totally right. They're there
It seems like they're
essentially,
going to be an important part of the movie.
yeah. But they're really just there essentially to get him to run away, like to get him in trouble and
Yeah.
then run away.
Yeah. But you
Well,
think
he
maybe
gets
they'd
himself.
come back at the end or something, or there could have been like a larger fight where like his aunt, his cousin, and his dad join him and the Drunken Master, and we get some kind of a big like group battle. That could be cool.
Yeah,
I don't
that
know.
would be sick. But yeah, we don't get anything back from them, which is interesting. Um, hmm.
Yeah.
But the throughout the movie, he's faced with like these punishments, building off of you know because of what again, like those characters really play the role of just getting him to get himself in trouble, right? And throughout the rest of the movie, he's faced up with these punishments. And at first, with the regular teacher, his friend helps him with the chair,
Yeah.
right? And then he's cheating in the punishment, so he gets Drunken Masters coming over. And I it never ceases to
Well, that was
amaze.
with his dad. The chair was when he was with his dad, and there was the guy with the mole with the super long hair.
Yeah, that was the
Oh,
original teacher, right?
well, yes,
The
but I
guy
think
who
he's like an underling of the dad, technically. I
gotcha.
think that was how I interpreted it.
I gotcha. And then but then Drunken Masters come in to be like to really put him in his place essentially. And it never ceases to amaze me how this this character will cheat his way out of anything. You know,
Yeah.
like every time that you think that he might have like learned to stick it out or whatever they're trying to make him learn, I don't really know. But anytime that you think he might be like getting it, he's waiting for the guy's eyes to close so he can climb down and fill up the bucket a different way or something, you know?
Yeah. Yes, because it's like training, but he doesn't want
Yeah.
to train. But yeah, because I think some of the stuff with the Drunken Master was more training than like punishments. Some of them were punishments. There was, but yeah, also Jackie Chan just doing that stuff, crazy impressive. This guy is
Yeah.
like an incredible athlete.
Yeah, absolutely insane. The way that he like I mean like everything in the movie that he does is impressive, but even those things where like that squat where he's balancing all those things until the guy gives him the chair, like he's actually doing that.
Yeah, yeah,
Like no thank you.
right. Yeah, or when he's hanging upside down, like you were saying, when he's like has to pick up the water and put it in the bucket, and he's like doing crazy upside down curls, like
Yeah.
nuts.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Yeah. Insane.
crazy.
This guy, and I'll tell you what though, you can tell that he's an athlete when his shirt comes off.
Oh yeah,
Come
jacked.
on.
They
This
don't
guy.
call him Jackie for no reason. That guy's jacked.
He's it's insane. Um yeah, but God, he will cheat out of all of these trainings or whatever. And that every time I was like, yep, what's he gonna do to not have to do it?
Yeah, exactly. Um, yeah. I mean, this movie's just awesome. I don't know that the story's a little like I don't know. It's not the best. Oh, actually, we haven't mentioned that this is set in like the like late 1800s, early 1900s, somewhere around there. It doesn't. I don't think it says the actual specific year, but it's before like people would just have like guns. And I feel
Yeah.
like that is a smart. I think a lot of martial arts movies are set in the past for that reason. Police Story, on the other hand, does deals with that in different ways. But yeah, that's definitely I don't know. It was a cool part of the movie, but you don't feel it that much, I guess, the being set in the past. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, I mean it's interesting because I think most of feeling that would be because there's no guns or anything, but it
Yeah.
also you kind of just are used to that in a martial arts movie. Like that
Hmm.
nobody's gonna just Indiana Jones it and pull out a gun or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so uh yeah, you almost don't feel it in that respect. And then in terms of the setting and plot and stuff, I would say it was hard for me to know, that it was so far in the past. But
Yeah.
yeah,
It was
so it's interesting.
yeah. The movie, I don't know, it's kind of just like like a collection of set pieces a little bit. Like I did like the scene when he gets his ass kicked by Thunderleg and then afterwards it's like tormenting him and we're getting like flashes of what was being said and he's like really really disturbed by all this and you can see it like motivating him and to get his payback at by the end. I thought that was like pretty well done the way they did that. And then there's also we haven't mentioned this scene. There's a guy with like an iron head
Oh
and
yeah,
he's like fighting with his head and they he starts hitting him with a sledgehammer and he's got these giant like cartoon like
yeah,
eggs on his head. Um and that's another and also a lot of the acting is like very over the top, super expressive. So I feel like there is a lot of influence from like silent film stuff, like Buster Keaton probably in particular, and like cartoons. Like
yeah,
there is definitely and Jackie Chan's character is kind of like a Bugs Bunny, like trickster, archetype, I think. So I feel like there's a lot of influence from those two things.
Yeah, that I can definitely see that. It almost, in some ways, when I was watching it, I almost felt in some ways that it felt almost mythical, right? Where there's the guy with the iron head and Thunderleg feels uh surprisingly not very mythical, I guess. Uh but that build up all feels very mythical, but I guess it's really just normal build up to the but anyways, I don't know. With as and with like the drunken gods and stuff, it felt to
Hmm.
me like there was like some mythological things going on, but I don't know. I guess the guy literally just had an iron head.
Yeah, I don't know what was up with that. He got,
Just
yeah, I
had a
don't know.
plate put in his head or something. I
I
don't
say
know. Yeah.
something. Yeah. Also, we didn't mention this. Maybe one of the most impressive, like crazy training things that Jackie Chan does is when he's doing those push-ups on his wrist
Oh my
because he has
god.
weak wrists, and he's like, "Oh my goodness, like that was crazy."
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sucks. Anyone make you do that? You just
Yeah. And it is just impressive that it's like, oh yeah, like he really had to do this. Like he actually had, there's no green screen or anything. This ain't some Marvel bullshit, you know? This is Jackie Chan doing wrist push-ups for real.
yeah.
And he's shirtless for fan service.
Yeah. Um no, I mean he's just so impressive, and it's nice I think that we picked something so early in his career in terms of,
Yeah.
you know, him actually again, he's credited in a lot of stuff, but this is really kind of the beginning of his mainstream career. And then something quite a bit later in his mainstream career where you know, he has even though he's not directing it, you know, there is a bigger budget involved. There's more uh more weapons, more there's like literally a helicopter and crap, right? So it's cool that we have kind of a big range, and that we
Yeah.
also didn't do an American, like we didn't do Rush Hour. That would like
No.
come on, you want to
Yeah.
watch a good Jackie Chan movie?
I yeah, exactly. So I do think it was good that we got two different eras for sure. Um one thing what was the thing I wanted to say? Oh, this movie would be a perfect movie for a drinking game.
Yeah. Oh my god,
Perfect.
for sure.
Just take a sip every time they take a sip. And then however how if you drink like a mixed drink with like hard liquor in it, you will die. So don't do that probably.
Yeah.
But you could do like beer or wine or something, and that would be fun. And that could honestly probably be your only, or maybe like every time there's a fight.
Yeah, because he doesn't really start drinking until halfway through, you know.
Exactly. So you need
Um,
some stuff at the beginning.
yeah.
So maybe every time he picks up a prop.
Oh my god, Jesus, guys, don't. This is not health advice.
Yeah, yeah. Don't do that. Drink responsibly, only if you're of age and all that stuff. Don't go crazy. Yeah, if you do that with like actual like drinks or don't do shots. You would literally die. Do not do that. Yeah, but I'm just
uh,
saying this would be a great game, great movie for a drinking game.
It definitely would be. I mean, yeah. There's also just you can see why this kind of lives on as a cult classic and a very and how it just broke through, right? And kind of made this new genre of comedic martial arts and stuff.
Yeah.
Not that it's necessarily the first, but it definitely helped propel that genre into the mainstream. Um,
Yep. Yep.
it's just so much fun.
Yeah. Sick movie. Glad I watched it. Yeah. The dub is a little bit silly.
Yeah,
You know,
I
as
agree.
but and there were some times where it's like he calls his cousin like a bitch. He's like, she asked for it, that bitch or something. And I'm like, how accurate is that to like the original? Or like when they say the drunken gods, I'm like, are they literally saying the drunken gods in the original language, or is that just like the English like what they're calling it? You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
like is it more just like these are the teachers or something? Like I don't know. But I have no idea.
yeah. Um, it would be nice to watch this at some point in the original, but
Yeah.
from what I could tell, it looks like the uh you know, American version or whatever that we were able to watch. I couldn't see that it was any different in terms of plot, like in Police Story, which is good. So
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It seemed like it was pretty much the same.
same runtime and everything. So um I think
I think so.
from
Yeah,
what I could
I
tell.
think that's true. Cool. Well, is there anything else we want to say about Drunken Master before we do ratings?
It ends on a freeze frame.
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, actually, hold on. Here's something weird about the plot. It ends on a freeze frame after he beats the shit out of Thunderleg,
Kills
but
him.
kills him. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. He kills the guy.
He
Yeah.
like yeah, he like crushes his throat like a walnut,
Yes,
which they
you
cut
see like a
back.
walnut. Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
but after they kill him, it there's actually no resolution to the fact that the guy was working on a bounty, right?
Yeah,
He was
like
like,
there's more yeah, the people who sent like the rivals that sent him like would still want his father dead.
yeah, like this movie doesn't actually end whatever's going on. This movie's not about that though, right? This movie's really just about Jackie Chan getting this fight done. So,
Yeah.
but it is kind of interesting that this, you know, the plot is very much background here to Jackie Chan's training and ultimate fight, which I think is very much traditional for like these martial arts movies. Is that the plot is very much secondary usually, um,
I
but
guess so. Yeah, because it's really just like it's really more about him being reunited with his dad, I think, and like coming that's the most important part. So yeah, all the kind of machinations in the background are kind of like just to get us there.
right, like it doesn't actually matter this guy was paid, right? Like you just have to get him there somehow. So
Yeah.
there's not going to be there's no resolution to the fact that he was paid and that there's still people after him and
Right.
whatever.
Yeah, there's gonna
Um,
be more.
but yeah, it ends on a freeze frame, and that's a bonus in my book.
Yeah, there's very 70s. There's some nice zooms, some nice 70s zooms. The music when the dub is like there's some 70s stuff. Also some silly sound effects, like when that guy with the iron head, it's like dong, like ding, or I don't know how to describe it, like a
it, it's kind of
cartoony.
yeah, yeah,
And there's a couple other moments where there's like super cartoony sound effects. I imagine that's just I don't know if it's in the original. I have no idea, but it's in the dub for sure.
yeah. Well, what'd you give it?
I gave it 3.5 out of 5. Very enjoyable movie. Um, yeah, like I said, plot was a little secondary, but the stunts were entertaining. And even though some parts didn't age well, whatever. It is what it is, the product of its time. I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, I also gave it 3.5 for pretty much the same reasons it sounds. Um, yeah, I mean it was a lot of fun. I could definitely see myself rewatching it. Would love to watch the original. The drinking game sounds like a lot of fun. So, good way to get totally drunken at the end.
Yeah, good way to have drunken viewers.
Yeah, drunken viewers watching your drunken master.
Yeah,
Um,
drunken audience.
yeah, so good, solid movie. Fun that we both agree on it. The rating recap is pretty good here. It's got a 7.4 out of 10 on IMDb, a 3.8 out of 5 on Letterboxd, 81% audience critic score, and 85% audience score, both on Rotten Tomatoes, which brings it to a 7.9 out of 10. So definitely lives on as like kind of a cult movie. So good following, good reception overall. I think it's definitely interesting watching it now where there's so many movies that have followed it, and um if it definitely feels like almost like it feels very much like it started a thing, and then there's a lot more that came after it, which is
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, very influential. And there's a sequel that from like the 90s.
Also,
Crap.
apparently there's like maybe a dozen or something movies that were like imitation movies that came off of this, that were all
Oh,
just called like drunken something, and kind of tried to play off of it. Um and which is I think the sign that you did something really special, right?
yeah,
People want to recreate it.
true. All right. So that's
Sick.
that.
That's
That's it for
that.
Drunken Master. Time for Police Story 3, Supercop. I fucking love this movie. What an incredible movie. It just incredible. I don't even know what to say. This is so that was my first time seeing Drunken Master. This is now my only my second time seeing Police Story 3, but it will not be the last time. There's I mean, I could throw it on right now and have a great time. Oh man, what a great movie. So, Police Story 3, it is the third movie in the Police Story franchise. You know, Jackie Chan plays Ka Kui, the the titular Supercop from Hong Kong, and basically there is a lot of drug trafficking coming in from mainland China into Hong Kong and all that stuff, and they need a super cop to go undercover. And Michelle Yeoh plays Captain Jessica Yang, who is the mainland Chinese cop that's basically helping him out. She's the, well, I don't know, police captain, I guess, uh, uh, who helps him out basically, and also ends up going undercover as his sister, which leads to very fun. Just this movie's so fun. I love it. Uh, and yeah, Maggie Chung also reprises her role as May, who's Kakui's uh, girlfriend, and uh, who Bill Tung Bu plays uh, Uncle Bu, I think was his character's name, who's like the police inspector in the first two movies as well. Um, this is I have, well, I've seen Police Story 4. I have not seen Super Cop 2. So after this, there's continuation of Jackie Chan's character in Police Story 4. And then there's like new Police Story, and then I think Police Story Lockdown or something like that. There's two more that I have not seen. And then Michelle Yeoh got a spinoff called Super Cop 2. And that movie's like hard to find, but I really want to watch that. It looks cool. I don't know. I do really want to watch that, but it's hard to find. Some of these movies are the rights can be all like who knows. But yeah, that's the basic thing. They go undercover trying to uncover a drug trafficking criminal organization, basically. And there's a ton of awesome set pieces and incredible action throughout. So
Yeah.
that's the basic summary.
Also, notably, this one is not directed by Jackie Chan.
Yes, he directed the first two Police Story movies, and then this one is directed by Stanley Tong. And I think that was a big upgrade for the series. The first two Police Story movies are fun, but just imagining someone trying to star in a movie and like basically creating the stunts and doing like all of his own stunts and also trying to be the director and being in charge of like you're the everyone defers to you, the cinematographer, all the other actors, the like everyone, the producers, the makeup, the set design, like you're basically the head of the snake. And so to do all that while also starring in the movie with all these insane stunts, and how there are a lot of really cool stunts in the Police Story movies, but I feel like it's a lot to handle, and I think bringing in Stanley Tong really just brought the whole series up a level, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think I do really like the first two as well, but again, uh they're kind of almost more just enjoyable, whereas this feels like a really great movie, right?
Hmm.
Um and I will say one thing I missed here. I remember in Police Story 1 and probably in Police Story 2, there is an ungodly amount of glass that gets broken.
Oh yeah. Well, Police Story 1, there's
The
the
mall.
scene at the mall, yeah, and he's going through windows, and then he goes down the whatever that pole, like down
Yeah.
like several stories. Yeah.
Oh my God, the amount of glass that gets broken in that movie. And in this, they pretty much only break, there's like the helicopter shield thing, like a windshield, I guess, that they break. And that's pretty much the only glass that I think gets broken in almost the whole movie. I might be missing one, but there's definitely no
Yeah.
mall, you know, breaking of every piece of glass that you could possibly imagine, like in the
Yeah.
first. So if you guys haven't, if anyone's coming in and either only watched Police Story 3, Super Cop, or did not watch it and is just watching, you gotta watch. I think that watching at least that ending fight, like the Police Story, the plot, I think was pretty. I don't even really remember very much of it, um, but that ending fight with the mall is insane. It's really fun. Um,
Yes.
but that's a
The
different movie.
That is a different movie. I will say also, I think an improvement in Police Story 3 is, and this Maggie Chung is a great actress. She's been in a lot of great movies and given a lot of great performances. You know, she's in from In the Mood for Love or a bunch of stuff. She's great. but her character is mostly poorly written and annoying in pretty much all these movies. And in the first two, she's like a lot more present in the
Yeah.
movie. And in this one, they kind of just like get rid of her for most of the movie. And then when she comes back, she doesn't have that much to do. She's like, and she's not quite as annoying, but yeah, I think that character is definitely the weakest part of these movies. And it's just that she's not in most of this movie, so it works out. Instead of just being kind of damsel in distress stereotype, we kind of replace her with Michelle Yeoh's character, who's a badass and can also do really cool action stuff. So that's like a big upgrade in terms of just character.
Yeah, huge agree there, especially because it means that you end up with a lot of cool scenes where the two of them are literally fighting side by side or like literally half on top of each other. And
Yeah.
there's like super cool things that you can do when you have these really, both really talented martial arts people who are both talented in real life, but also are supposed to be in the movie. So they get to do all these cool things.
Yeah.
And I think that's a huge upgrade here, definitely.
Yeah, and the first two, I feel like there's a lot. I feel like they partially are blending a little bit in my head, but I feel like there's a lot of like relationship comedy in those movies that kind of just didn't work for me from what I remember. And I feel
Yeah.
like it was kind of like they were both a little bit annoying, and I was kind of just like, all right, get stop with this stuff. I just want to see the cool action scenes. But I remember there being a lot of that type of filler that was just trying to be comedic, and they really just sorry if I just hit the mic. I don't know if that was loud.
You're good.
Uh, but uh, but they kind of get rid of that in this movie, and I think it's definitely for the best.
Yeah, honestly, my least favorite part about this movie is, obviously they're undercover and their brother sister, and somehow they all end up in the same place with his girlfriend's character, and so
They're at the same hotel in Malaysia. I think
yeah,
she's like a tour guide in Malaysia, I guess.
yeah, and there's this whole thing about she thinks that maybe he's cheating on her and stuff, and that's ultimately how they get found out as being undercover, and that whole section just feels a little too um a little cliche and a little annoying
I
and
agree.
a little predictable and a little bit uh just out of place with the rest of the movie, really, to
And
me.
it's very weird. Like at the beginning, like you'd think he'd be able to explain to her very, very easily what's going on, but like he and that was part of the elements I feel like in the first two police stories where there would be like these misunderstandings, and it could be very easily explained if you just had a simple conversation, but they're both just kind of being idiots, and it's to cause, it's just so that there's more conflict in the movie, but it's kind of annoying to watch, and you're like this should not be a problem. Like you should be able to figure this out. Your boyfriend is a cop who's been gone on a mission for a month. You think he could just be like, "I'm undercover, act like you don't know me." That's
Yeah.
literally all you need. And then so that was annoying, but then it's interesting. There's an annoying part, and it's kind of funny. She gets thrown in the pool, whatever. But then afterwards, they're talking, and then she like helps him out, and she plays the character. She pretends she's like a prostitute and whatever because she sees the brother Pow, coming back. So then I was like, all right, well, she's catching on. Finally, this character's a little bit smart. And then she starts yapping right in the elevator. What are you doing, lady?
The
Why?
elevator full of people.
Full
It's
of
like,
people.
yeah, oh yeah, that's my boyfriend. He's actually undercover as a secret agent, and I shouldn't be telling anyone this because it could get him killed if the wrong person overhears. I'll
Yeah,
tell you more later. Like, what?
incredibly stupid. Yes, that was definitely the worst part of the movie. That character is just poorly written throughout these movies. So yeah, that but I will say, right after that happens, you get one of the coolest action scenes in like movie history. So it kind of makes up for it. You're kind of like, all right. We at least now we get to see Jackie Chan hang from a helicopter and
Yes.
flying around the city, and like one of the coolest train fight sequences you'll ever see. The helicopter thing is incredible.
Oh yeah, and they want you to know it too. I mean, I know you even saw the interview, so I'm excited to hear what you think,
Yes.
because I'm sure he talks about stuff like this. But just in the like ending credits, they show you some behind the scenes of this stuff,
Yeah.
which is so cool. I love that, and and you just see. the times when he's pulling up in the car and she's supposed to fall into the car, and there's a time when she misses or something.
Yeah.
Like, damn, that's. But then also he's just hanging from the fucking helicopter.
Yeah,
He's not harnessed.
so that's the thing. So he is harnessed.
Oh,
It's just hidden really, really well. It's really like hard to tell. But he is hanging from a helicopter just with a harness on. But he explains that when he jumped on the helicopter, he actually did that. And there was apparently just like a mattress underneath him or something. Like he said it was very sketchy. And like he jumps on from a rooftop, maybe he said it was like maybe 6 stories tall, but they were like tall stories or something. And he actually jumps across, and the wind from the helicopter like sent him like lower than he expected. So like the one he was going for, he ended up like a little bit lower than like 2 rungs lower than he thought he was gonna end up. And that he said that was like the scariest part. And then he was apparently like strapped in, but it's just hidden really well. It just looks like he's
wow.
hanging from the ladder. But he said he was so like scared that he was really like gripping the ladder like as hard as he could because he was like terrified. But it's incredible just seeing him just flying around the city
Yeah. Oh my god.
hanging from this ladder. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah. Also, they do a really good job making that harness invisible. Like all
Yeah.
the stunts feel everything looks even there's one point where I forget which one of them is on the motorbike, but to get onto the
Yeah.
train.
That's Michelle Yeoh. She jumps on the onto the train.
Insane. And it's like she's actually and you watch in the credits, you get to see a couple of shots of that where she's just falling onto the side off of it and there's like padding and stuff. But like Jesus Christ, like what an insane stunt. Holy
Yeah,
crap.
yeah. The stunts are insane.
Not to
Uh
mention he's also actually like the fighting choreography and stuff on the train. Like there's another shot at the end that
yeah,
they show where he like trips or slips or
and almost
whatever.
falls off the train.
They're actually doing that on a moving train or whatever. Like that's insane.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. The whole oh my god. And it makes it obviously so believable because they're actually doing all this stuff, right? And it's like yeah, you don't actually need, like you were saying earlier, comparing with like Marvel stuff, you don't need like this huge $100 million budget and like 10 green screens and people to be in green screen suits to make a stunt, right? Like,
Well, you need Jackie Chan with balls of steel and a ton of
yeah,
skill. Like you just need the most insane guy of all time who's
yeah,
also just incredibly talented. But it's like, yeah, it's crazy.
yeah. And like, obviously, there are really great stunt people that do stuff like this that are not the main actors, right? And that's also really great. But it's just impressive that he is so multifaceted that he can do the martial arts choreography, right? He can do the main actor role. He can do all the fights. He can do all of his own stunts. It's just incredible.
Yeah,
And again,
yeah,
these stunts are just so impressive.
yeah. The stunts are incredible. And this movie's story, I was a lot more engaged in. I feel like it moves along at a really good pace. It's only like 96 minutes, I think, something like that.
Yeah, and the American
Um,
version I think is 91 minutes.
oh, okay, yeah. So, so yeah, it moves at a really good pace, and and I think the undercover aspect is very, very entertaining.
And they do so like there's the breakout scene. Well, actually, and there's
Yeah,
just so many small details where like when they're breaking out and the guy that's running with them and he's trying to tell him he's like he's not one of us. He's not and he gets
and
shot and
yeah,
then the guy turns around and is like, "Oh no." And he says the guy's name and I forget what it is. But then Jackie Chan turns around, says the same thing, and then gets pulled out, and the guy's like, "No, we gotta go, we gotta go." But he's like the small details of being so convincing undercover, where like you do that small little thing to make the guy believe you a little bit more, right?
yes,
And it just
and
works so well.
and it's incredible when he is like when they want to go to like Fatsan and he's like I don't know where to go. I don't know what's going on. I'm trying like he's just lost. And you're like this guy's fucked. And then all of a sudden we've got uh Michelle Yeoh just pretends to be his sister, and they have this whole setup, his whole family. Well, I guess there's a lady who's like his aunt, like in the out in the field or whatever. That's who they see first. But and they've set up this whole like elaborate thing, and Uncle Bu is playing his mom, which is hilarious. Very funny
Awesome.
scene. Yeah. And that's just a very fun scene too.
Yeah, I mean, there's like the whole this movie is so funny. Like it really just
Yeah.
uh the scenes are so uh just so believable, so well done, so detailed. Again, like the little details are also just so impressive. Where like, the little kid that first sees them, he runs up and he's like, "Oh, mom's been waiting for you." And he has to actually like give tiny bits of information to Jackie Chan's character so that he knows to follow him and like whatever to do, right? And when he gets there, everyone's greeting him to pretend like everyone knows him and all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
And all these things that they have to do to really sell the undercover piece. Whereas in a lot of movies, when someone's undercover, it's just like, yeah, there's like a couple things maybe, but for the most part, you're supposed to believe that the guy's gonna be believed or whatever, you know?
Yeah, they it's very elaborate in this
Yeah,
movie. And they do care about the details, which is nice.
yeah,
Yeah, and another aspect of the movie that I really appreciate is the like the way it plays with the way it plays with like the dynamic between Hong Kong and mainland China, where like at the beginning we have like Interpol is there, and actually the first shot of the movie is of like the Queen of England, because at the time I think Hong Kong was still technically a was it a, I don't know if that was a colony or it.
it was it was like ruled, governed by England until 1997.
Right,
So
exactly. And then that's literally the last line of the movie is about how it's going to be like governed by China after 1997, because he's like, well, we'll take the money because it'll be you'll have
yeah,
it
we'll hold
after
on to it until
1997.
97 or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. But
yeah,
but yeah, so that's like I feel like that is such a big factor in the movie of like the culture clash where and also the when he shows up to like the military police academy and he fights that guy and he's wearing like blue jeans and a white t-shirt and it's like a very Western look, and he has the sort of again that like rebellious like individualistic attitude, like very a lot more Western influenced. And then Michelle Yeoh is a lot more like serious and more sort of maybe stereotypically like communist. I don't know. She's not as
mhm.
fun as as Jackie Chan, I guess.
Yeah, yeah,
She's yeah. And I feel like all those factors like just make it a lot more interesting. I mean, and we also go to like a labor camp. That's where
yeah,
like a prison labor camp where Brother Pow is in prison, which he should be. They bring him out of prison and he's like, "Oh, you lost my drugs? Boom, dead."
yeah,
Just kills him immediately. They do like everything to make Brother Pow the most It's funny. The villains in this, they're like, "Oh yeah, these are the most despicable guys ever." It's like, "Oh, he just kills a guy, and then he's gonna want to eat that dog, and then he's gonna like kill these other people." And then when we get to the main bad guy, he's playing video games. You're like, "Oh, what's up with this guy?" And he's like, "Oh, just kill her and whatever. Just fill her corpse with drugs and just traffic her. It's fine, no big deal." And then they drown a guy in the pool. It's just
yeah,
immediately like these guys are the most evil characters ever. But I mean, it works.
yeah. Also, this movie, just the set pieces, one that we kind of have talked around a little bit is the big giant jungle setup of
Oh,
all the
drug
drug lords,
kingpins.
yeah,
Yeah.
kingpins, I guess, like meeting. And there's the explosion. Like
Oh
it's a
my gosh,
piece
it's
of the
incredible.
action that's so different from the rest of the movie, where you get these massive explosions and gunfights and all this stuff that largely is isolated to this piece of the movie. You literally see some tanks at the end of this whole scene, and it's
Yeah.
like and people with bazookas everywhere and stuff, and it's like nonstop explosions and gunshots and again, we get some really cool scenes of the two of them also trying to play around this vest they think is explosive.
Yeah.
And it's just, again, another piece of that choreography that's so well done, where they're doing these really intricate motions. And there's also a really funny line when she tells him that it's explosive and says something like, I can't get shot. And then he moves her away and says, I can't either, or something.
Yeah, exactly. That was very funny. Yeah,
Uh,
and that whole scene is very good. I was watching it though, there was a little bit of like, take off the vest, lady. And I know
yeah.
she tries to and she like can't quite get it off, but they don't really like
It
fully explain why she can't take it off. So that was the only part of that scene that I did not like. But yeah, you're right. The it is like just incredible action, and what a difference from Drunken Master to now we have this full like Michael Bay,
exactly.
John Woo, like very 90s or like Predator even. It reminded me of Predator with
Yeah.
like these huge explosions in the jungle.
Right.
But yeah, the fire and the explosions are just massive, and it's all real.
Yeah.
It's just awesome.
And again, that's another thing, like doing one kind of towards the beginning of his career and then one so far later in his career. You really get to see the difference in what they're doing with him now,
Yeah.
as opposed to at the beginning when the ending fight is like a fight in a field, right? And now it's like, okay, we're gonna have a giant mid movie fight with explosions and gunshots and all this and tanks, and then there's gonna be the giant ending fight that's actually gonna be on moving trains, cars, and a helicopter.
Yeah. Yeah, incredible the scope of it all and everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
great. It's just awesome.
Oh my god. And it's so like just so impressive and again, I keep saying believable with these movies, but I think one thing about Jackie Chan is that his like charisma and and him doing his own stunts and all this stuff just builds up like such a uh believable aesthetic. And it's not really believable, like I don't believe that like like the Drunken Master moves are real or anything, but it's just so fluid that it feels so like authentic.
Yeah, and I think part of it too is the way it's shot. When you think of like obviously there was like sort of the Taken era in like late 2000s, early 2010s action movies where the camera's shaking all over the place. You can barely see what's going on. Liam Neeson jumping a fence takes like 16 cuts in like 3 seconds just for him to climb a fence. And part of that is them hiding stuff that actors can't do, or it was just a style that people thought was cool, which was it's not. It's disorienting and horrible. But these movies are so impressive because it's a lot of long takes and you just see him doing everything. All the stunts, you can see him doing it. And so it is believable because you're like, oh yeah, he's really doing it. There's no real trickery to any of it. And they're not trying to hide anything with shaky cam or like quick editing or any of that. It's all just right there, right in front of you. And it's like, look how awesome this is. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, that's the thing. They really want to show off, right, just how impressive they're making this experience because it is, and it should be shown off because it oh my god, it'll blow me away just like that grenade that she throws inside of the building.
Yeah, that was funny.
When he says, "Don't throw it," and then she throws it.
He says pretend to throw it, and
Yeah.
then she really throws it. He's like, I said pretend. And she's like, you should have said it more clearly, and then jump out. Awesome. Yeah. Sick.
Oh man. Yeah, that middle section um is it's almost even easy to ignore that middle section in this whole movie because it's kind of a small takeaway from the plot. Like it's really this kind of uh road bump in the plot, really. Like it doesn't really mean anything. And
Yeah, it's just that like they kill off a bunch of the other like he's the only like drug lord left, like him and the military guys, the corrupt military guys that are selling them the drugs or whatever, or they have a
right.
deal with. I don't know.
But like the gist of the movie, the whole plot is really that, this kingpin really wants to break his wife out of jail. That's kind of the main thing.
Right. Because she's the only one who knows the code to their Swiss bank account.
Right. And she won't give it to him unless he gets him out. He gets her
Yeah.
out, right? And so, but that whole middle section really has nothing to do with that. But it's also just, well, I guess they mentioned that stuff a little bit because that's part of why like people are mad at him. The other drug kingpins are mad at him. But like if you cut that piece out, not that I think they should have, but the plot pretty much stays the same. But that
Yeah.
piece in the middle is also just so fun and so awesome that it's like you can't really imagine. I can't imagine taking that out of the movie because
Oh
it's
yeah.
it's just so
Oh,
good.
100%. And same with the fight scene in the with the cops in the restaurant. Like when they're in Fat San
Oh
and
yes.
they're in the restaurant and they end up being cops that don't know he's undercover and they have the tasers and there's all that stuff going
Oh my
on.
god.
And eventually that's how they kind of like escape. And I guess it does have an impact because Michelle Yeoh like pretends to kill one of the cops and she's like that's why she joins them on the run. And then they end up on the boat going to Hong Kong and all that. But yeah,
Yeah.
It,
Oh
it's
my
a
god.
really, really cool scene, and it's so well executed. And I feel like just the amazing set pieces, like that's really what I don't know. That's the movies are built around these awesome set pieces, basically.
Yeah. Also that
And
scene has he like kicks the chair into the cop with the taser um when he's about to when he's about to get shot. And for some reason in my head, I thought that was really impressive because I could imagine a lot of movies where like Jackie Chan just kicks the guy's gun out of his hand or something, and then and it's like, "Whoops, sorry" or something. But it's so much more believable where he like, I
he
don't know.
like has to secretly sabotage it because he's undercover. So yeah, I know what you mean. He's trying to help the cops when he can, like, but he can't be seen by the bad guys doing that, and he has to. So he plays both sides of it very well.
Right, and it feels very very authentic there again, which is cool.
Yeah. And another element of like this being a bigger scale or scope than like Drunken Master, for example, is kind of this is like a globe-trotting movie. Like we start in Hong Kong and then we go to well he flies into like Guangzhou, I think is the city, and they go to Fat San, they come back to Hong Kong and he has this the big penthouse from the drug kingpin, and they end up in Malaysia. I think it's Kuala Lumpur is like the
Mm-hmm.
city that they're in. I think it's the capital. I think. I don't know. I might be wrong. Any
I think that's
Malaysians
right.
if any Malaysians out there, if I got it wrong, sorry. But but yeah, it's kind of cool that this is kind of a little bit of a globe-trotting like thing.
Yeah, and even again, there's that whole jungle piece, which I think was in Cambodia, right? Um,
Oh, I don't know.
or
I just thought that was still in China.
oh, okay, it could be. I could be wrong, but
Maybe it was
uh,
in Cambodia. I'm not sure.
either either way, it's a big change of scenery, right? Which
Yes.
again, you need the big budget, and even if you're not globetrotting to another country, you're still in another region that's very different, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's really impressive the scale that they're able to go to.
Yeah, and it keeps things interesting with the different settings. Everything feels like kind of distinct in that way. And China's so like gigantic, I imagine. I don't really know where like Guangzhou is in comparison to Hong Kong, in comparison to Fat San. I don't even know if Fat San is the real like town or whatever. Like, but
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know. So, but it's such a giant country. There's a lot of diversity in the geography of it all.
yeah. Yeah, really, really impressive, and just really great to see the change from kind of the low budget beginnings to this. And
Yeah. We didn't even mention, sorry to cut you off,
yeah,
the speedboat and the boat scene. They're on a
oh
boat
my god,
and then they like escape onto the speedboat underneath and the cops are shooting at them. They're going over and all that. Like also another awesome scene.
yeah. And the speedboat has like 8 motors on it or something. And
Yeah, they shoot. Yeah, it does.
I,
Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself when that happened, I was like, "There's no way that's a real thing. Like that's just is
Hey,
that just a
more motors, the faster you go, man. I don't know.
I was wondering to myself, like, is it actually is that like real or is that just a joke or is it like backup motors because they're getting shot at? And or like I was like, I don't know. Because at one point he's like, we 2 motors are gone or something. And I was like,
Yeah.
that's insane.
Yeah.
Good thing we have 6 more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that was an awesome. And again, another thing about just the like setting diversity. Now you've got a huge scene that's all on water, right? Not even just all on a train or all on a car or all on a helicopter, all on water. It's like they've used every mode of transportation to make a cool fight scene.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, trains, helicopters, boats, cars.
Cars.
Dirt bike. I don't know how. One thing, how did she get that? Where did the dirt bike come from? We never see it. I wonder if they shot something and cut it out, like showing
Oh,
how she gets that. Because she's like undercover. She's wearing like I think it's a hijab. I know Malaysia's like a mostly Muslim country, so that's an L. You can see like mosques and like some sort of different architecture there too, which is kind of cool. But yeah, she's like undercover driving and she like crashes into she's like in the little I think it's like a little red car maybe. Um so then she like follows them. She's on the truck. I don't remember exactly. Like she
Yeah.
kind of just like disappears for a sec, and then she just reappears on a dirt bike and jumps on, like kind of unexplained, but still
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I guess she just like gets it from someone on the side of the street, I guess. Like whatever. But yeah,
Yeah,
that is funny. Um but yeah, I
maybe
mean
maybe a good Samaritan gave it to her. She was like, "Dude, I need to catch a really evil guy. Can I just jump this onto a train?" He's like, "If I can watch, then yes." And
yeah.
she's like, "All right, fine." Maybe that's the headcanon of what happened.
Nice.
And then
Um
right off screen, there's a guy who like recording it on like well, I guess this is 1992. I don't know. Maybe he has like some kind of a camcorder. And he's like,
um
yeah,
yeah,
just
he's
cheering
rooting
her on.
for it.
Yeah,
The first three takes, he's like, do it again.
yeah, yeah,
um, but yeah, they really hit a lot of modes. I guess there's no plane.
yeah, yeah. No plane.
Dang.
Helicopter though. Helicopter's like a
Yeah,
almost a
you get
plane.
land, sea, and air. So there you go.
Helicopter's just a vertical plane.
That is such a good take.
Thanks.
um, yeah, I mean, uh,
No
I'm
submarine
blown
either.
away. No submarine.
Submarine, just an enclosed boat.
I'm in on that one. Yeah.
Come to me for transportation takes. Car, just a detached train.
That yeah, you
Motorcycle,
know,
half a car.
a unicycle.
No, a motorcycle is a half a car. A unicycle is a quarter of a car.
That makes sense. Yeah, quarter of a car is tires. That's it. Yeah, tire swing.
Eighth of a car? I don't know.
Anyways, this movie is just amazing. I was pretty blown away the first time we watched it, and I was even more so this time. Just I just really there's so much here to enjoy, and I gotta say, watching the American version this time, the dubbing is a little goofy at times, but since
Mm.
he dubbed his own lines, um, that adds a little bit to it. I would say it's not the worst experience. Where this movie is so hard to find, um, if if you're not sure how to watch the original, if you don't have a Blu-ray or I know we had watched the original at some point, and somehow we did that without the Blu-ray, but whatever. I think the American one is not the worst option in terms of dubs and stuff. So it's a couple minutes shorter. You lose a little bit of the, there's a few scenes that you're losing, I'm sure, but not the worst experience. I would say I was happy that it wasn't as like atrocious as I was worried it might be. I was ready to like turn it off, but I ended up powering through, and I'm glad I did.
Nice. And yeah, you can still enjoy the stunts and the action with even with the dub.
Yeah,
So yeah, I mean, yeah, I just think this movie's incredible. Love it. Um, I don't know that I have that much more to say about it. It's kind of a short movie, action packed, and it's incredible. It's not like perfect, like we had a couple little quibbles, but regardless, if is there anything else you want to say before we do ratings?
well, just in terms of length, it is funny that this is something
It,
like almost 30 minutes shorter
yeah,
than Drunken Master, and it feels like so much more happens here.
yeah, it's just yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
With the scope of it's pretty much like action from front to back. There's not much. There's really little like downtime in the movie.
yeah,
So
but yeah,
it really
that's
does fly by. Drunken Master is definitely a little bit more slowly paced. Um, yeah, I don't know, but yeah,
yeah. But what'd you give it?
I gave it 5 stars. I'm not gonna pussyfoot around and give it 4.5 because oh, what? There's a little. Is that not good to say pussyfoot?
No, but I gave it 4.5.
Ah, you pussyfooted around,
Uh,
coward. But yeah, I know. The Maggie Chung scene. is a little bit cringe, but it's so, but then it's you got one of the best action scenes of all time. And
Yeah,
sometimes I'm just like, if I love a movie, I'm giving it 5 stars.
nothing wrong with that.
So there you go. 5 stars for me. Love it. Glad to have a reason to rewatch it.
Nothing wrong with that too. By the way, like you love a movie, you should give it 5 stars. Um,
Yeah.
well, I guess
I'm
you should
being
do whatever you want, but
Yeah, do whatever you want, but I feel like I've been more generous with the 5 stars recently. Like Man on Fire, I just gave it 5 stars. I was like, yeah, that was incredible. 5 stars. Boom.
nice.
First time I ever seen it. But yeah, so
Yeah,
I don't know. What you only live once.
yeah, yeah. I
Why
did.
be stingy with the 5 stars?
That's true. I did give it 4.5, and it's interesting to me because this is still probably like one of my favorite action movies, but I would say it's probably not my top tier genre. Is the thing. So I have
Hmm.
like a disproportionate amount of the movies I love that I give 5 stars, despite some quarrels or whatever. Is like I do that a lot with some horror movies that a lot of people would argue with, but you know what? To that I say I don't care.
There you go. There you go. Nice. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm definitely more into action movies than you are. I think you're more into horror than I am.
Yeah, and you know what? There's nothing wrong with a little bit of a bias in what you give your five
No,
stars to.
it's all
So
no, it's all subjective. I mean,
yeah,
yeah, if someone doesn't like action movies, they'd probably watch us and be like, maybe like 2 stars or something. Because if you hate action movies, I mean, I guess if you
yeah.
are being fair, you're gonna be like, that was impressive. But like, and if someone like hates horror movies, they could watch what The Exorcist, like I said earlier, and they could be like, that was gross. I didn't like it. Like, well,
Yeah,
that's the way it goes. Everyone has their biases.
right. But I think this is also universally a pretty well received movie, of course. It's got a 7 out of 10 on IMDb, a 3.6 out of 5 on Letterboxd, a 93% critic score,
Nice.
and a 75% audience score. So
Oh,
yeah.
cowards.
So this is the thing. The
I
critics, the critic score is a big um step up from
yeah.
the general audience
Well,
reception for this one.
I also wonder how many of the critics watched the original Hong Kong version as compared to the audience. I imagine the audience on like IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes, and probably Letterboxd too, mostly watched the dub and the American version, but
Yeah.
maybe the critics saw the original version more. I'm not sure,
That
but
would make sense to me, I think, right? But
because I could imagine people just kind of seeing the dub and it's like, oh, this is like bad dub, so it's not good.
right.
People can be like that.
Also, the American version is just called Supercop. And so
Right.
there's really there's no leaning on Police Story 1 or 2, which again, you don't really need to at all, but I think I could see that if someone's going to watch Police Story 3 Supercop, they might be more inclined to watch the first two. Maybe they have a better they have a broader, maybe they've seen more of this type of movie and are more impressed by, Jackie Chan stunts and everything anyways. And so if you're going to watch the original version that's called Police Story 3 Super Cop, you might just have a different perspective going in than if you're just finding Super Cop on Tubi or something.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. But what's the average? What did that come out to? Did you say?
7.75 out of 10. So pretty close to Drunken Master, but Drunken Master, which neither of us necessarily agree with here, but it does have a slightly higher with the 7.9 out of 10. So
Interesting.
it
Huh.
is probably more influential, I would say, obviously. But Police
Yeah, I
Story
guess
3 is
so.
pretty awesome.
Police
Also
Story 3 is
influential in its
incredible.
own right,
But
right? I mean,
yeah, I feel like it's a very different type of a thing though. It's almost more has more in common with like almost like a Tony Scott or Michael Bay, John Woo, a lot of those big. I mean, Hard Target is hard. What year is Hard Target? I think it's like around the same time. And this is post like The Killer and Hard Boiled too. Hard Boiled might
yeah,
also be 92 or maybe it's like 89 or something like that. I don't know. But that late 80s, early 90s like big
yeah.
big ton of explosions and all that kind of stuff. But I feel like this is just like peak, just so well executed. Um, but yeah, and sometimes people disrespect genre movies. Sometimes.
That's true. I would also say that this probably has Super Cop because of the American release or I guess international release. I don't really whatever, but the 1996 release, probably has a bigger audience than Drunken Master, maybe.
Oh, maybe.
Um,
Yeah.
I'm
There's
kind of
probably a
just speaking
lot
out of my ass
more.
here, but I could see that being possible where there is a release that's literally not, it's not called Police Story 3, it's just called Supercop
Yeah.
and whatever. Um, and Drunken Master, you know, I think a lot of people will seek it out because it is kind of a cult movie, but also since it is a cult movie, you're if you're seeking it out, it's probably because you want to watch it.
Yeah, exactly. It's probably more people who are into classic martial arts movies and would be more inclined to like it rather than Super Cop could have played to wider audiences in the 90s. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I see that.
Either way, both pretty awesome movies.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty
Pretty
sweet.
great episode.
Jackie Chan's just awesome.
Yeah.
I think he's very underrated. Like obviously he makes a lot of movies and not all of them are great, but he's just like the charisma and everything. I feel like he's just a top tier movie star of being incredibly talented and like charismatic. He just has that movie star quality. And I feel like these movies do like show that off pretty well. Like Rush
Definitely.
Hour, he's definitely like playing second fiddle and I don't think that's him like at the peak of his powers.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I have too much more to say about Jackie Chan, but we do have an exciting episode next week, and we also have to
Yeah.
pick our genre for the week after. So,
Yes. Next week
um,
we are actually well we I don't know when we'll figure it out when we should release the episode and when all that, but we are gonna be talking about Send Help, the new Sam Raimi uh horror thriller, whatever. Yeah. Uh it looks pretty cool. It comes out on January 30th, I think, in the US. So our episode should be coming out either like on the 30th or right around then. So yeah, we'll probably do a non-spoiler part to start the episode, just since it's a brand new movie, and then we'll get into full spoilers in the second half of that episode. But yeah, I'm excited for that one. Sam Raimi, always kind of interesting. Going back to his roots, he's kind of done some like big budget. This last movie was the Doctor Strange multiverse movie, right? So, did you see that?
yeah,
How was it? I didn't see it.
it was good.
Yeah, I just hate. I hate. I
Yeah,
hate multiverse shit. And if
yeah,
it has multiverse in the title, I mean, I'm pretty much out.
yeah. I kind of when I watched it, I was also pretty tapped out of the multiverse stuff. It was around the same time as like the Spider-Man multiverse stuff
Mm,
and everything everywhere all at once.
right.
Right. And so those were like high bar things. And but yeah, I mean, it was fine. So I don't
Gotcha.
know. I
Gotcha.
again, I was also kind of tapped out of Marvel and the multiverse stuff. So maybe if I went in and watched it again, I'd feel different. But at the time, I kind of just left it being like, okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, makes sense. I probably won't go back and watch that ever. But
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of other movies I'd probably rather watch than that. But that's
Even,
okay. Sam
even other
Raimi.
Sam Raimi movies. I mean, come on.
Oh yeah, I mean Evil Dead, the original Spider-Man movies. I mean, guys, Dark Man is a cool movie. He's got he's an interesting director. And I feel like this is going to be him going back to his roots, so hopefully it'll be good. So that's next week's episode. Subscribe on YouTube and the podcast apps to see, when that episode comes out. We also are on Letterboxd, Mind Your Movies, all one word, and you can follow us there, and you can follow both of our personal accounts as well if you want to, stalk us or whatever.
Yeah,
Bunch of
keeping up with we talk just about, I mean, we both watch a lot of movies. It's unhealthy
yeah,
probably, but but you might too, and you might be interested in what we think about them. So we only get to talk about, a small handful at the beginning of these main episodes. So if you want to see our full thoughts on some of those movies or all the other movies we watch, you can follow us on those.
I'll tell you what, this is way in the future, but I'm currently reading the new book called Remain, written by well, actually it's written by Nicholas Sparks with M. Night Shyamalan.
Mm.
And it's being made into a movie directed by M. Night Shyamalan, and I think they co-wrote the screenplay. So I'm actually reading the book now because I'm really looking forward to the movie. I like M. Night, you know? Some
Yeah.
of his movies are terrible, but some of them are great, and they're always
Also,
interesting.
not to go off here real quick, but you saw Signs recently,
I
and
did. Incredible movie.
I think I've talked about Signs on the podcast quite a bit because every time you talk about Shyamalan, that's one that I have a pretty fond memories of, but I haven't seen in a while. And
It's a banger. Yeah, it's a
yeah,
pretty incredible movie. Uh, yeah, I loved it. So
I'm glad you
that
liked it. I want to rewatch it because again, I
great.
kind of just have memories of it, but I remember really enjoying it, and I got to go back and rewatch it.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be. There's a couple M Night. There's like three of his movies. His first two movies I haven't seen, and then I haven't seen The Last Airbender, which is supposed to be one of the worst movies of all time. So I might end up watching those before watching Remain. Maybe rewatch Sixth Sense or something like that. But I feel like this new movie is gonna. I mean, he's kind of been making cool movies. Like I really like Trap and Knock at the Cabin and Old. Like, those are his last three movies, and they were all like varying degrees of like really good. Uh, so I'm excited for that. So hopefully when that movie comes out, we'll talk about it. And
Yeah.
uh, but yeah, I've been reading that recently, so that's been pretty sick. Don't know why I brought it up, just because I've been reading a book.
Well,
Guys,
hey,
reading.
you know, the author that wrote the book that A Knock at the Cabin's based on, um, has a bunch of other books. One called A Head Full of Ghosts, which has some like exorcist vibes and things like that. It's like a kid that has like is showing signs of mental illness that's getting like uh exercise and stuff on TV and all this stuff and all this crap that happens. But and that just got announced that there's gonna be a movie. There's not a lot of information yet, but so if people liked A Knock at the Cabin, keep an eye on whatever comes out of the book called A Head Full of Ghosts, and maybe read the book.
Interesting. All right,
So
cool.
shout out to Paul Tremblay, the author.
Book. There you go. Paul Tremblay. There we go. Book
Yeah,
recommendations. You
that's
never
right.
know what you're gonna get from Lantern Movies. So yes, next week, send help. And the week after, we're going to be doing a certain topic. I'm pulling right now. You can see on the YouTube. I got the cup. Eyes are closed. I don't know if you can see me. I have no idea what this looks like right now. I'm pulling one.
It looks embarrassing, honestly.
Oh man, I'm sure I look insane. All right. Here's a top. Oh, one fell on the ground,
Oh,
which I put back, didn't even look at what it was.
good, good.
But wow. The topic for our episode in 2 weeks will be budgets over $100 million.
Wow.
Big budget movies. Now, I believe
Wow.
we also have budgets under a million or something
Yeah.
like that also in the cup. Because I think, I don't know if I put that in there. Maybe I was thinking big budget and small budget would be good
Yeah.
topics. So yeah, that is the next topic. Budgets over 100 million. Do you want to do some research now, or should we do our new strategy of waiting, doing research on our own, making a more educated choice?
Yeah, I think we can maybe hold off. We can announce it next week in our half episode when we're
Yes.
talking about send help. Maybe we should announce it at the beginning of the episode so that during the
Because before spoilers.
right. That way people that don't want to hang out for the whole send help, it'll be early, right? The send help one. So
Yeah.
um but speaking of, just real quick with the $100 million budget, we not too long ago did the box office, top 250 or something. And
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I'm sure that all those movies would probably count for this.
Probably a
Um,
lot of them. Yeah.
but I think we also have a
We,
lot of opening to just better movies with this.
yeah. Yeah. And we could go with flops.
Yeah,
It could be a giant budget and it flopped, you
yeah.
know?
I mean, that happens a lot, right?
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to pick up from here, so it'll be cool to dig into it and chat a little bit off screen and um,
Yes.
make some announcement next week.
Cool. All right. Well, then I guess that's that for this episode. Guys, go out there, watch some Jackie Chan movies. Keep an eye out for our episode next week. Follow us on all the places and whatever. Give the video a like. If you're on like Apple Podcasts, you can like just scroll a little bit and you can give us 5 stars. And that would help us a lot. So we would appreciate that. If you don't, it's free to do. You just have to scroll and then press one button. It's very easy. Uh, so yeah. Thank you for listening and watching. Don't forget to mind your movies.